Hey guys, it's Katie from Mattress Clarity, and today I'm reviewing the Vicks filter-free Cool Mist Humidifier. Now you may be thinking, wait a second, I thought this was all about mattresses, but we're really all about sleep at Mattress Clarity, and humidifiers are a great way to help you sleep better at night. We're gonna go over why that is in a little bit, but the majority of this review is gonna be all about this humidifier. We're gonna go over all the components, I'll show you how to use it, and I'll show you how to care for it, of course. So if you're ready, let's get started. If you want to see a list of my favorite humidifiers, just Google Mattress Clarity Best Humidifiers. It'll be that first link that pops up. And I want to know how many of you guys already have a humidifier in your room. So comment yes below if you have one, or no if you don't. Maybe you're new to the world of humidifiers and you want to check this one out. Great idea. I'm glad you're here because we're going to dive right in. So this again is the Vicks filter-free Cool Mist Humidifier. Vicks is a well-known company. If you ever were like a kid and you ever had Vicks Vapor Rub rubbed on your chest when you had a cold, it's the same brand. They do Vicks Vapor Rub, but they also do humidifiers, and they have a ton of different kinds. So this is the filter-free Cool Mist Humidifier. So those of you who are new to the world of humidifiers, they work by adding moisture to the air. In the case of this one, bear with me because it's going to get a little bit sciencey, but basically water is released into a nebulizer. That's going to move at ultrasonic speed, so super fast, and turns the water into mist. So you'll turn this nozzle or this dial on, a green light will come on, and then 10 to 15 seconds later, a beautiful cloud of white cool mist will appear out here, and that's how it's adding moisture. Now this machine is best for medium-sized rooms, so think like 250 to 400 square feet. It's got a 1.2 gallon tank that's about 4.5 liters and should run for about 30 to 33 hours. It's not a huge machine. It's 12 inches long, 9.5 inches wide, and 8.5 inches in depth, so it's a pretty good size. You want to put it on a flat, firm surface that's water resistant, so make sure you put it in an appropriate spot. You can also use a directional nozzle up here to dictate where that mist is going to go. It also has a cool little scent pad right here where you can add a vapor pad. Vicks gives you one in the container for free, but you can also buy them separately if you want to add that to your Cool Mist humidifier, especially if you've got a cold and you want to open up your airway even more. Now it just comes at one size right now, and at full price that is $80. But now let's go through each of these individual components and I'm going to show you how to use it. Now before I show you how to use it, let's quickly talk about the different pieces and components that it comes with. So the first thing, if we start with the top, is this cool little directional nozzle. This is removable, so you basically can clean this separately, but this is what's going to direct the mist to go in whatever direction you want in your room. And then the main tank and where the water is going to go is this section right here, but they have a little handle back here that you can use to pick it up, which is really nice, and then you can flip it over, and this is where you're going to see the tank cap. So the tank cap is right here, and it twists, and you untwist. This is where you're going to add that water, and it's a cool mist water, so you can use any sort of cool water or distilled water that you want to use. Avoid using warm water. And of course, once you're done filling it up, you will twist it closed. There's a little lock indication right here. Now I'll leave this to the side and I'll show you the base. This is the base of the humidifier, obviously. It's got a float right here which helps direct the flow of water, and then the main features are going to be the scent station right here, this where you put the scent pad, and this is where you're going to operate everything. So again, you're going to use it to twist it all the way to the fullest to get it going, getting the most humidity in the air, the most cool mist out of here. And then once it feels like it's a saturated amount in your room, you'll go ahead and adjust to a lower setting. But you will see a green light come on once it's plugged in via this little plug. Okay, we've talked about all the components. Now it's time to put it to good use. So the first thing you're going to do is find a flat, firm, waterproof surface in your room that's about 6 to 12 inches away from the wall, away from any bedding or furniture, anything that you don't want to have a little dose of extra humidity around. So be smart about where to place this. I chose my nightstand right here. I feel like that's a good spot for me. So I put the whole thing on there, but it's not plugged in at the moment. What you're going to do is grab the tank by that handle that I showed you, lift up, turn it over, and remove the tank cap. And that's where you're going to fill your water. So remember, we use cool water for this. Fill it up as much as you want. If you're going to use it all night, I would probably fill it all the way, and then screw that cap back on as firmly as possible. Flip it back over and place it firmly in the base of the humidifier. Then you're going to want to go ahead and plug it in, and now you're going to turn it on. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the dial, and it's going to have a little zero where it is right now when it's turned off. You're going to flip it, you're going to hear a click and see a green light come on. Go all the way to the opposite end of that dial where you see the little watermarks, the 3 little droplets. That's going to be the most humidity that you can get, the maximum output at the moment. Go ahead and leave it at that until you feel like your room is saturated enough, it's at a good humidity level. Overall, you want your room to be at about 40% to 60% humidity. Now, if you don't have a humidity monitor in your room, as many of us don't, you will have to eyeball that, but it just needs to be at a comfortable humidity level for you. Once it's at that saturated point, you can go ahead and dial it back a little, let it even out, and you should have a really nice experience with it. Of course, if you're congested or you want a little extra of that Vicks mentholated smell for your lungs and your nose, go ahead and add the Vapo Pad. They gave me a free one in my container. You can always purchase them separately into the little station and close it, and you're gonna get that beautiful experience as well. Okay, so you got a chance to see the Vicks filter-free Cool Mist Humidifier in action. You saw the beautiful cool mist coming out. So what are the pros and cons of the machine? Well, you could say for sure the pros are that it's very effective, especially for medium-sized rooms, and it's super easy to use. So you saw me put it together, simply unscrewing a tank cap, pouring some water in, screwing it back, and then putting it right back in that base and using the dial to adjust how much humidity you want. So if you are in a smaller space, you're worried that it's gonna be too much, you can just let a little bit of cool mist out. You are fully in control. Likewise, up top, you're also in control of the direction that the mist comes out, and I really like that option as well, especially if you have areas that you wanted to kind of steer clear from. So overall, very easy to use. I think it'll work well in my room, in my kids' room. It's not super loud at all, very quiet, and will sit nicely in a nightstand and do its job. Of course, there are a few things I want you to consider as well. One of my big pet peeves is that although it has this green night light to let you know that the machine is on, I hate seeing that night at light. It's like sitting across the room from me or next to me in the nightstand, and I'm not used to it, and it's distracting. So I'm not a big fan of this night light. I'd have to put a little tape over that. It also has a very intensive cleaning process. It's something we're going to go over in the next section, but you have to descale and disinfect this machine weekly. And while it doesn't take that much effort in terms of physical labor, it is quite a process. So we're going to go over that next. And last but not least, this is not the cheapest of all Cool Mist humidifiers. Because there's no filter and because it uses this ultrasonic speed, it's a little bit on the nicer end, so around $80, which is just not in everyone's budget. Okay, I want to take a quick second to talk to you guys about how using a humidifier can help you sleep better. So the thing that people may not know is that dry air in your bedroom is not helpful. It's going to cause a dry, scratchy throat. It's not going to help any nasal congestion or allergies you may have, and it may make you wake up uncomfortable during the night. So if you think about it, a humidifier is going to add that extra moisture to the air. It's going to help break up that nasal congestion. It's going to keep your throat from being scratchy, and it's going to help you sleep longer. If you've got a CPAP machine or you know someone who does, often they have little humidifiers in that machine to help keep their airways moisturized and lubricated so they don't wake up uncomfortable as well. So that's a little fun fact for you. But just know that the added humidity in the air is good for keeping your nasal passages, your airway open, and you breathing and sleeping better. Of course, you don't want to overdo it. 40% to 60% humidity in your room is ideal. So if you're going to use your humidifier consistently, Vicks wants you to descale it and disinfect it weekly. So those are two different processes, but I want to make sure you know, first do this by a sink and have a clean damp rag handy, and of course, unplug your humidifier first. Don't want to get electrocuted in the cleaning process. So you're going to need to descale your humidifier if you're using sink water or water that has minerals in it, because that can build up on your humidifier over time. So what you're going to do is, of course, unscrew that cap, make sure all the water is out of your humidifier, and then put a cup of distilled white vinegar into the tank. Screw the cap back on, of course, place it on the base, and let the whole thing soak for 15 to 20 minutes. After the time period is up, take the base and the tank, separate them, remove any of that distilled white vinegar, but use a damp cloth to rub the nebulizer area just to remove any mineral deposits. And then you can rinse the whole thing with water until it no longer smells like vinegar, and then make sure you dry it thoroughly. All right, let's talk about disinfecting next. Disinfecting your humidifier is very similar to descaling it. The whole process will sound familiar, but you're going to use a different cleaner. So for this, you're going to want to grab rubber gloves because you need a teaspoon of bleach and a gallon of water, and that's going to be your solution for cleaning. You're going to put that in a container and then set it aside. What you're going to do is, of course, take all the extra water out of the tank of your humidifier first, unscrew that cap, pour the solution in as much as you can, close it up, and place it on the base. The same idea as before, you're just letting it work its way through, disinfecting, leave it for 20 minutes, and then when it's done, gently remove it, be very careful, put it in the sink, and then just remove that bleach water combo and rinse until you no longer smell that bleach, and then of course, dry gently, and you will have descaled and disinfected your humidifier. Okay, there you have it. That's my review of the Vicks filter-free Cool Mist Humidifier. At Mattress Clarity, we are Team Humidifier. We love them. It helps you sleep better by keeping your room moisturized and your airways and your passages, everything lubricated and lovely so you are sleeping. So we're all about that. Of course, this one in particular is a great fit for medium-sized rooms. Super easy to use. Of course, there's a little bit of involved care process, but take good care of it and it'll last you a long time. I think it's worth the price even though it's a little bit higher because you don't have to deal with the filter. Of course, let me know if you have any questions or if you want a personal recommendation, and like and subscribe to our channel for more. All right, I'll see you at the next humidifier review.